President Muhammadu Buhari says he wants to stay in London for a longer time, as it discloses today that the tests have shown that he needs a longer period of rest, necessitating him staying longer than originally planned. The National Assembly resumed plenary today with several letters from the presidency awaiting the legislature's attention. We give you updates on the activities today as our correspondents on the ground will join us later on the program. And that's our focus tonight on the program. Many thanks for joining in, everyone. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Seun Kimbale. As the nation eagerly awaits the return of President Muhammadu Buhari after he left for the United Kingdom on a medical vacation, it is now 33 days on, but the president says he will stay back in London to get more rest as advised by his doctors. Well, we keep the countdown going as we eagerly pray and wish that the president return as soon as possible. Well, do let us know your views on our handles showing on your screen and all of these social media platforms and our emails as we await his safe return. 33 days on. Well, let's begin tonight by serving you some other political stories we're following for you.
The governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasiru El-Rufai, has reshuffled his cabinet. The governor in the minor change dropped 4 commissioners and nominated new ones for confirmation by the Kaduna State House of Assembly. At the end of the State Executive Council meeting, the governor also announced the appointment of 8 new permanent secretaries and retirement of 5 old ones who have concluded their tenure. And as the Ondo State Governor, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, wraps up his 2-term tenure, the governor is putting finishing touches to some of the activities relating to governance in the state. Dr. Mimiko says providing quality and affordable education at the basic level is a form of investment in human capital that will create wealth and ensure the development of the society.
This may be the last medical school I'll be commissioning before I leave. You see, I'm more than 30 or 20 waiting for commissioning.
Thank you for staying with us, everyone. We're keeping tabs on the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party leadership after a series of activities from either side of the divide yesterday. Today, the forum of former ministers of the People's Democratic Party have reiterated their resolve to challenge the judgment of the Court of Appeal and Port Harcourt Division, which affirmed Senator Alimadu Sharif as the national chairman of the party, rising for a meeting with former President Goodluck Jonathan in Abuja. The chairman of the forum and former Minister of Special Duties, Mr. Kabiru Turaki, says the leadership crisis rocking the party is not uncommon in a democratic setting, and the Supreme Court is the final arbiter on all disputes. He says the party will overcome the leadership tussle ahead of the 2019 general elections.
I am aware that an appeal has been lodged against the judgment of the Court of Appeal, Port Harcourt Division yesterday. With the notice of that appeal, I'm also aware that an application for injunction had been filed. And so the position of the law institutions like this is that unless that application is taken and decided one way or another that there's an interim stay, an interim injunction. And so with that, therefore, the caretaker committee continues as the organ that is legally charged with propelling the affairs of this party. Assuming that this is a war, but this is not a war. This is a simple, ordinary family feud within the PDP family. Even when we allow the court, or we get to the point where the Supreme Court will have to make a pronouncement, one way or another, quite naturally, we will still need each other. We are friends, we are family, we are brothers and sisters. So at the end of the day, even between the tongue and the teeth, there could be tense moments. But it still does not mean that there will not be reconciliation between them.
Kabiru Turaki, former Minister of Special Duties on the former President Goodluck Jonathan, staying in Abuja, the nation's seat of power now. In the National Assembly, off we go, where the federal lawmakers resume plenary after about 3 weeks of adjournment to consider the 2017 budget in their different committees. Let's get updates now from my colleagues. We begin from the lower chambers, where Lanre Lasisi is there to bring us update. Hello, Lanre.
Well, plenary resumed today after about a 2 weeks break when lawmakers, suspended plenary to allow committees in the National Assembly concentrate on the 2017 budget. But when they resumed today, nothing much happened on the floor. As I'm sure you're aware, last week a lawmaker from Katsina State, Representative Sani Bello, passed on. And in keeping with the tradition of the parliament, the lawmakers resumed today, observed a minute silence in his honor. Prayers were said for the repose of his soul and for his family, and immediately a motion was moved to adjourn plenary. So plenary will resume tomorrow, Wednesday, for proper activities, legislative activities in the House. So back to you, Sheung.
Thank you so much, Lanre, monitoring what is happening at the green chambers there. That's our green man in the green chambers. Now, let's switch to the red chambers and the upper chambers, where Linda Akigbe is here to tell us the latest. Linda, we know, what do we have? What is the latest there at the red chambers?
Hello, Sheung. Now, I'm in the National Assembly, where federal lawmakers resumed today after a 3-week break from plenary. Now, this break was to allow federal lawmakers give attention to the 2017 budget. During the last 3 weeks, we've seen various ministries, departments and agencies come into the National Assembly to defend their budget proposals. At the resumption of plenary today, Senate President Bukola Saraki read some outstanding letters that came to the National Assembly during this break. Now, one of the letters was from President Buhari, where he informed lawmakers of his decision to extend his vacation to allow him attend to his health challenges. In that letter, the president did not specify when exactly he'll be returning to the country. The second letter is coming from Acting President Yemi Osinbajo, and is asking the Senate to confirm Justice Walter Onoge as the Chief Justice of the country. Now, the third letter came from a federal lawmaker, Senator Anduba, where he is informing federal lawmakers of his decision to defect from the opposition PDP to the ruling APC. Now, that's all for now from the National Assembly. Back to you, Sheung.
Interesting times. Thank you so much, Linda. Let's get coasting on with the conversation here and some news that a lot of us have been keeping tabs on. And of course, you, wherever you may be as a Nigerian, of course, you're interested in this one. Today, the presidency gave us an update on the health status of President Muhammadu Buhari. The president may not be returning to Nigeria as soon as we all envisaged earlier before now. The president says he wants to reassure Nigerians that there is no cause for worry. The presidency, in a press statement earlier today, says during the president's normal annual checkup, tests have shown that he needed a longer period of time to rest, necessitating the president staying longer than originally planned. Mr. Femi Adesina, his spokesperson, will always say that he can only say what he's been told to say. That brings us updates on this now.
The president wants Nigerians to know that he appreciates their prayers, he appreciates their concerns, he appreciates their goodwill. And he has added that there is really no cause to worry. He is the one who owns the body, it's his body. And there's nobody who will know his body more than him. And it is no cause for worry. No cause to worry, rather.
Nigerians will be wondering now how long.
How long? No. You know that I speak for somebody. I don't speak for myself. So it is what he tells me to say that I say. And the statement transmitted to me is that the president needs to rest for some further time. So I can't say anything beyond that. What we have just said is what I would rather have us believe. the president says he needs to rest further. The same president that communicated that to us, when it is time for him to come, he will also communicate the date and the time he will come. The message I'm communicating is, let us learn to believe our leaders. This was a man we elected into office. And he says, no cause to worry. Let's believe him.